welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Let's get right into it. Unlike last week, this week kicked ass. So, the pick of the week from Image Comics is Chew number 11, written by John Layman and art by Rob Guillory. Now, it's been a while since I've been a fan of Chew again, but like the last story arc, it was okay. It had its moments. But in this one, we get a whole new story arc, and it's basically Tony Chew and Amelia Mintz. They kind of have the hots for each other. Tony more about Amelia than her, but Tony. But so they decide to go on a date. And while this is all going on, Tony and his partner John are called down to the racetrack to investigate a murder of a senator's son. And the weird thing about this murder was it was obviously personal, and they take away out of his throat a rare pygmy marten, a gray-tailed pygmy marten, which is on the endangered species list. And apparently this kid was kind of anti his dad. Like, his dad's a senator, so he's going to rebel in every single way possible. And one of them was he's about to blow their big exclusive dinner parties that they hosted twice a year. And so after doing a little bit more research and looking at Amelia Mintz's notes, because she was covering the story, it is an exclusive diners club, and they dine on the most endangered and rarest species on Earth. And on the menu tonight, not only do we have a side of dodo eggs, but we also have a thawed-out woolly mammoth and saber-toothed tiger. So it's up to Amelia Mintz and Tony Chew to infiltrate it, and they have the dead kid's son, his little ticket, and plus one. And so they go, they dine. He doesn't get woolly mammoth like he was promised. He gets tiger with half indigested caveman, but that's enough to make the whole bust happen. The FDA swarm in after he has to plug two in this one guy's head because he has a knife to his girlfriend's throat. And so it's like, hey, no one touches my girlfriend. So that happens, and then at the end he goes, sorry, maybe the second date will be better, and then they end up in the sack together. And the biggest smile on Tony's face on that last page is what really, it puts the cherry on top. So it was a great, fun issue. If you're looking to jump onto Chew, this would be a good place to start. They do a good job getting you up to date. So hands down, pick of the week. Now let's get on to that crazy old Fast Five. First up from DC, we have Booster Gold number 33. Now we got Giffen and DeMatteis back to writing a little Booster Gold, and we start off with Booster having to, you know, not only battle to show that, yeah, he's a superhero, and yes, I'm cocky and whatnot, but he's also trying to remind people of Maxwell Lord. Everyone still thinks he's crazy, so he needs to go back in time to the old JLI days and get proof. So we have Booster in his retro costume, going back in time, trying to find some kind of proof he can bring back to the present to show that Maxwell Lord did exist. He runs into Martian Manhunter. He says, there's something not right about you. You're from the future, but you're not from the future that I know, the Booster Gold I know's future. And then he runs into Black Canary. He doesn't know why Manor is so pissed off. Obviously because he had a little tell-all in Maxim magazine. And then he finally finds a copy of the old UN tapes where Max displayed the new Justice League International, and that was enough proof. Unfortunately, when he gets back to his own time, it evaporates in his hand because you can't take things from the past and bring them to the future. So now he has to think of something else. One of my favorite parts in this issue was Randy is drawing on Rip Hunter's time board, and whenever you see something on the board, it's bound to happen. So first we see ponies happen, and Rip is taken aback, like, are you drawing my board? And then he's like, okay, that's fine. And then she draws a butterfly with a smile, like Mr. Mine from 52, and he's like, let's stop with the board. So that was, I just, as a side note, it was hysterical. I loved Giffen and DeMatteis' JLI days. It was good, hands down clean fun. Next up from Vertigo, we have House of Mystery number 26. Now we have Fig doing her daily routine and, you know, daily regrets as well. And to break the routine, we have the Queen of Witches stops by, and they're going to take a couple of rooms because they are trying to recruit the goblins for their Goblin War. We are introduced to Daphne again. She is royalty. We met her way back in the beginning of the series, and I love that art because it was Steve Rolston doing the art. But anyway, on this issue, we have the witches trying to get the goblins to come join them in their fight to retake their homelands. And so Fig is like, you know, whatever, we got rooms to fill, I guess. And while this is all going on, we have the mini-story of a little girl who had her dad use her to summon this demon so they could rob banks a long time ago. It was just good, clean fun. And then we have the goblins agreeing to go to war. So now that's going to be the march on the old witches' homelands, and to see how Fig is involved with this. Good stuff, a good, nice little story arc. Jump on this issue. Next up from IDW, we have G.I. Joe Cobra #5. Now we have this whole kind of cult called the Coil. Think Scientology, because they have all these great athletes, celebrities, people giving them all this money to, show me the answers or whatnot, and only a very selective few can, join. And so the Coil is maybe a front for Cobra. We're not sure yet, but all we know is General Hawk doesn't like the disappearance of Chuckles. So he hires Leonard Michaels, aka Scoop, to go get, well, the scoop on what's going on. So he does background checks, he goes online, he meets with judges face to face to see why certain warrants were thrown out. And then he finally infiltrates the organization himself. He has the members only jacket, goes down to the lower levels, that no one else should be down there. And he sees some pretty bizarre things. Not only the human blood sacrifices, but some of the costumes and some of the engravings in stone. That makes him go, this might not be the little clan / cult that we all thought it might be. Good stuff. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next issue. And check out that gorgeous Ben Templesmith cover. Yeah, it's that good. Next up from Vertigo, we have Daytripper #7. Now this time, in this life, we have Bras being a very successful writer. He published his first book, and he's an instant celebrity and praise from the literature world. He got a postcard from his friend Jorge, and he hasn't seen him for a while, ever since last issue, where he says, listen, I'm going to go live my life, leave me alone. But he feels like with their friendship, all they have, he has to go out and try to help Ross, or not George, Jorge, whatever the fuck you want to call him. And so there's this, he's going halfway across the world pretty much, finds him on this secluded little desert island, and he's on the outskirts of this small town. Apparently he's, a few fries short of the Happy Meal now, and he kind of flips saying, I'm sorry, we're not going to be friends anymore, sorry I wasn't there for you, I wasn't a good friend. Not only does he kill Bras, but then he turns the knife on himself. So it's a very grisly death, even more grisly than the first issue. And once again, you got the Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba giving you one hell of a story, and Dave Stewart helping out on art. Gorgeous stuff. I can't praise this series enough. Go check it out. Please, do yourself a favor. And finally this week from DC, we have Batman #700. Yeah, it's that awesome. We have, listen to the creative team. We have Grant Morrison on the story, and then we have Frank Quitely, Andy Kubert, David Finch, and Tony Daniel on art. And look at that Mike Mignola cover. Hells yeah, people. We have a kind of a it's a time-traveling story revolving about the Maybe Machine and then Professor Nichols. And then we have yesterday, today, tomorrow, and tomorrow. And so we have Bruce Wayne as Batman, we have Dick Grayson as Batman, we have Damian Wayne as Batman, and then later on in the future, we have Terry McGinnis as Batman. So they're really trying to keep that Batman Beyond slowly going into the current DC universe. But so the stories revolve around Batman battling mutants, battling against old and new foes, and updated versions of old foes. It's a nice Batman one-shot because you don't have to know any continuity, well, almost no continuity, but for $5, not only do you get tons of gorgeous art and story, but you get also loads of pinups in the back by several different artists, because this 700th issue is celebrating Batman and why he is the best crime fighter the world has ever seen. So, if you want my opinion, this is one you want for your collection. Fuck all the other Marvel 500, 600 books. This is what counts. DC knows how to do a monumental issue right. So that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, head on over to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there you can subscribe to us on the RSS feed, you can subscribe to Geeky Talkie, the audio version of the show, and also go chat on the forums, Book of the Month, etc. Also, if you like any of the kick-ass t-shirts that you usually see me wearing, head on over to deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has all the best DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse, whatever shirts you want, he can make it for you. There's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts, and that's Kelly at deadlinegraphics.net. And also a big shout out to Rising Sun Creations at rsc-online.com. They specialize in the best of US comic books, manga, and collectible toys imported straight from Japan, all located on their online store, or if you're in San Diego area, stop on by to their physical store location in Mission Valley. Big thanks again for being my sponsor. That's it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, I'm going to be on the Fourth Wall Comics podcast later this week. And then also, I got tons of audio versions of the show, Geeky Talkie, coming out. So you got plenty to keep you entertained until next time. So until then, this has been Cammy's Comic Corner. I've been your host, Cammy. Let's go read Batman together, and I'll be Batman, you be the Riddler, and you be Joker. Okay.